Hey guys, it's Nate, aka TheFutAccountant. Welcome back to the channel. Today we end Ultimate Scream. It started so good with the Pogba SBC and some of the Evos that we had, but it ended not so hype, which sounds crazy, right? Because we had the 99 stat boost just a couple days ago. But what comes next is quite interesting for a multitude of reasons. Today we have the UEFA Prime Time promo, which brings our biggest promo team yet. Guys, we're talking about 45 promo cards in packs today, new heroes, and live upgrades for these cards here that are going to take place over the course of the rest of the UCL and other European competitions group stages. We're going to talk about all that today, but the big question is too, with the content coming today, what is going to happen to the market and these prices that have absolutely gotten cooked? We're going to talk about it, guys. If you're excited for a promo Friday, drop a thumbs up on the video, hype the video, and subscribe if you're new. Yesterday, Thursday content actually brought some interesting stuff. We had more content on a Thursday than we normally do. First of all, in objectives, the weekly SP and some of the refreshes in here happen, so make sure you double check those, of course. It's still early in the season, but it feels like it's been a pretty slow start, and this is a short season, so EA is going to have to start dropping the SP soon, hopefully. Now, to Evos yesterday, we had a free Evo for a right back upgrade. It's called Saved by the Bell, and this is a decent Evo, bit of a bigger stat boost for the overall rating of the card than I would like to see, but you get pace up to 91, you get the whipped pass playstyle, and you also get quick step. This is a great chain evolution the way that I see it. Kyle Walker is actually the top card that a lot of people are putting into this Evo because it gives him pace once again. If I wanted to Evo somebody here like this Serginho Dest, what I would get is a nice boost to dribbling, a nice boost to pace, but I'd be lacking in the defense and physical areas. And if you take a look at a lot of the cards people are getting out of this, Kyle Walker again with pace, Diogo Dalot with pace, it's a good first step of an Evo, but you need some defense play styles, maybe an intercept, maybe anticipate, and then some defense and physical stat boosts as well down the line. And 84 to me just seems a little bit too high for that, but we'll have to see. So I feel like this is an Evo to either save for right now or put somebody into it and hope to upgrade them in a future Evo later on down the line. But at least it was free. We're going to talk about more Evos coming today on Friday because there is some leaks and rumors based on what we see on the market that could bring us a pretty big Evo as well. Now to SBCs we go yesterday, where we had a lot going on. Starting off with 2 Player of the Month SBCs, we had the Serie A Player of the Month of Zambo and Gisa. This is a Hullet Gang 80 plus in every single stat card for 4 squads. He's coming in 83, 84, 84, and 85 rated squads with a price, according to Footbin, of 77,000 coins. So I wouldn't say it's super cheap, but if you need some Serie A links, and also this guy's pretty OP in game almost every year, it's a good card. You're missing out on a passing playstyle though. If he had like a pinged or a decisive or even tiki taka, this would be a really good item. The rest of his playstyles are solid though. The other player of the month we had yesterday was Jonathan Burkhardt from the Bundesliga. I think this card looks like a cheap beast, low driven, finesse, precision header, first touch, quick step, advanced forward plus. He's got a 4-star weak foot, and he's got some decent stats in here. 90 finishing. He's got decent reactions and even okay physical stats for an 86 rated card as well. That is only coming in on Footbin at 33,000 coins. I mean, he's downvoted, but that's a very cheap card. So if you need a cheap striker and Bundesliga links, maybe that's a card you could even use in the gauntlet this up and coming week. Not too bad there. But the SBCs kept coming yesterday with the refresh and the slight tweak of the League SBCs. We had the Mixed League and Premium Mixed League SBCs returning. The Premium Mixed Leagues, exactly the same. It still requires CONMEBOL, Libertadores, and Sudamericana cards. League 1 Eredivisie, everything's the exact same. But the Mixed League upgrade changed from CONMEBOL and Sudamericana in this first section here to Saudi League and Superliga. This is making the League SBCs, both of them, even more grindable. It's so easy to get them done. Guys, honestly, just do the daily bronze, silver, and gold upgrades, hit a little bit of bronze pack method, and you're going to be able to grind this SBC set over and over again. Now, I want to reiterate, when you're doing the League SBC grind, you have to spend a little bit of coins, whether to do bronze pack method or to buy a couple of the last Libertadores or Sudamericana cards that you need. The whole point of doing this League SBC grind method is you're spending less than probably 10, 15,000 coins out of your pocket when you do this SBC, and you're getting a lot of packs worth it in return. Jumbo Gold Pack, Prime Electrum Pack tradable, Small Prime, Small Rare. And it's the times you complete this over time that end up making you coins and giving you fodder pulls and maybe hitting something really big. So it's not a grind that everybody wants to do, but if you get accustomed to it and start doing this SBC grind, it is very good. Bronze Pack method is one of the keys, though, to unlocking that. So it's nice that that is back, and it's very nice that EA dropped the Conmi Bowls from the Mixed League upgrade, because it's actually made the Conmi Bowl and Sudamericana cards drop a little bit on the market. Not a crazy amount, but they were going for over 2,000 coins, the silvers were. And last I checked, they were under 2,000 coins now, like 1,700 or something like that. So it's still a good grind. I think it's even better now that the Sudamericana and Conmi Bowl cards are a little bit cheaper. Now, the big SBC that we had yesterday was the base icon match day pick, and there was 2 of these leaked yesterday before content. Of course, the one that we talked about with Essien and Vidic and Zambrata, this one is Schmeichel, Beckham, and Lahm, and it's a solid pick, especially because of Schmeichel. This is the first icon goalkeeper of the year available in the game, and that's always a hit because, guys, having an icon in goal is so incredible for squad chemistry links. I got Oliver Kahn, as you guys know, in my pre-order icon pack. He's not moved out of the team. He's stayed in net the entire year for me so far, and a lot of people here are taking Schmeichel. Now, Lahm is not bad, and neither is Beckham, and the price of this SBC at 280,000 coins is okay value because all of these cards, except for Beckham, he was right in that range, were more expensive than 288k when this SBC dropped, or before the leaks came out that this player pick was going to be released. So I personally think it's a solid one. If either of those 3 icons or any of them really interest you, I think you could craft this over the next couple of days. And if you want to get a lone David Beckham, there was the Become a Knight challenge that was dropped yesterday too. This is a must complete. It's super easy, 80 rated squad. You get a 5-game lone Beckham and a pack from that one, so you can test out Beckham if you want to before you go ahead and use that card. Now, speaking of the icon pick that we had, a lot of people are taking Schmeichel because goalkeepers, especially icon goalkeepers, got cooked. Take a look at Van der Sar, 490,000 coins yesterday before the content drop. He went all the way under 400k. Buffon, Casillas. Casillas was 700k. The most popular icon, I believe, most overpowered, used by pros, icon in the game right now as a goalkeeper. He dropped as well yesterday because this Schmeichel card is in this SBC. And again, every single year, the first time we have an icon goalkeeper SBC or somewhere where you can get one, it actually makes a lot of the rest of the icons drop because that's such a valuable spot in people's teams. So that one has to come down to your personal desire for if you want those icon links, but it is such a very nice and handy thing to have when building a squad. Now, the last thing to mention, and some of you guys watching this video might be experiencing this when you log in today, EA said there's going to be maintenance, and it's a 7-hour period of maintenance as well without gameplay. Online services, they even mentioned, will be down for this as well. All the FC platforms. No idea what is going on here. A lot of people are hoping that maybe EA's fixing some of the servers and connectivity issues, or maybe they're making 99 stats actually feel like 99s on some of these Scream cards. Probably not. We're probably dreaming by thinking that, but it is kind of a pain that the servers are going to go down for this long. Hopefully there is some changes that come out of this. You know what I also just thought thinking about this? A lot of times when there's maintenance, we never hear what the maintenance is for or what happens during those time periods. I don't know if EA is going to say anything about it, but that would be really interesting to know. Even if they can't say a whole lot because maybe it's too technical or whatever, like just say we were updating servers or we were updating like this, that, and the other. I don't know. I feel like that'd be interesting to know what happens during those maintenance periods. So watch out for that if you're not able to log into the game today. At least they're doing it in a time where, you know, Division Rivals isn't that important. Foot Champs isn't started yet. And that Screamers tournament still has multiple days left to finish. Now, let's talk about the market from yesterday on Thursday before we get into what's coming today on Friday. And guys, the market yesterday could be summarized by one word: crash. I guess 2 words: crashing more, because cards yesterday just kept going down. Now, I'm still trying to make some coins. When I lose coins, I get motivated to go right back out and make coins. And sometimes that's a problem. Sometimes it's a good thing. I've made some coins back, not a whole lot, but in general, man, Dybala, what did I buy him for yesterday? 420,000 coins, thinking I was about to catch the low and have him rise. He went to 440. And then he just absolutely crashed for the rest of the day. There was even a huge wave of sell-off when he went down to 360. I picked another one up here and sold it for 400. So I was able to make a little quick flip out of that. But most of these cards with their 99 stats just continued to get panic sold off yesterday. I bought 2 Griezmanns, as I mentioned yesterday as well, for 230K. I sold them for 215,000 coins. So we lost some coins there. And man, it just feels like there's no end in sight for these cards that just continued to drop. But there has to be. There's going to be an end. And I feel like surely it's going to be today with weekend league rewards that are incoming. I'm not saying that I want to invest in these cards, guys. Don't get me wrong. When you see cards drop for days and days on end, and especially when you go to the market and you see the types of cards that are being listed up, you see them not having very many games played at all. That means it's investors that have not used the cards. It's just, it's demand. It's not demand. It's supply of investors that are just looking to say, look at how many of these. Multiple of these, I have the R2 glitch, so it's kind of annoying. It's getting in the way here, but multiple of these cards as we scroll through here do not have any games played on them on the current version of the card. Now, some of them do, and that's going to keep showing up because less people have probably just held on to these since they invested, but you still see a lot of them with no games played, and that is a true sign of it being investors that are selling the card and not actual players who are wanting to buy that card for their team. Now, I'm going to talk about this a little bit later in the video, but the screen drops have to kind of stop at some point, and maybe the fact that we have Weekend League opening this weekend, maybe that could bring some life to these cards because there can only be so much panic selling for so long. But again, we do have a whole new promo coming today, so I'm being careful with these. I'm not saying that I'm buying just yet, but depending on how far they go down before the content drop today, there could be a window of maybe seeing a little bit of a rise during the Friday night bubble because we've seen so much panic this week. There's got to be at least a little bit of a rise back. So many people that have panic sold these cards that still want to use them because they have 99 stats, whether they're fake or not, they're still 99s, and that looks cool and that's unique. I think some of them can go up tonight, but I would love to see them drop even lower. I wouldn't love it, but from an investing standpoint, having coins, I think they would need to go lower before I would want to buy. Other than that, I'm trying to stay away from these Scream cards because they've done nothing but lose me coins, and we'll talk more about that after we talk about UEFA Primetime dropping today. Of course, yesterday, EA didn't drop us any clues about cards that were coming today. We already have the full team leaked anyway, but they dropped the upgrade path, which is kind of in depth, but actually a pretty good looking upgrade path. We could have some cards by the end of this thing that end up getting a lot of upgrades. Now, the biggest story with this UEFA Primetime team is that the promo squad is huge. Remember earlier in the week, we had FIFA Trading Romania, one of the leakers, tweeting out that there were going to be 60 cards in packs today on Friday. Well, I'm not quite seeing 60 in this promo team, but I'm seeing maybe 60 with the promo team plus the team of the week. This is the official primetime team, guys, with the official stats on the cards. We're going to have to zoom way into this. If you've seen this already on the stream, as we've looked at it, there are some pretty big cards in here, and there's 45 if you count it. There's 45 cards that are in this primetime squad, which does make it the biggest promo squad of the year. Does that mean it's going to have bigger pack weight, better pack weight? Probably not, but we should have a better chance of at least packing some fodder, and these cards do upgrade. So I digress. They're picking big names though, man. Maybe it's because it's a Champions League promo and these cards upgrade over time. We've got Erling Haaland. We've got Graham Hansen with Technical Plus. That's going to be a huge change for her instead of the Trickster Plus. A very overpowered playstyle plus. Lamine Yamal with Finesse. This card's going to be expensive. We've got one of the new heroes with Law there. Quick Step on a center mid card. Hazard with Technical. Saliba keeps Anticipate. Salgado, the new hero with Intercept. That looks like a decent card for a defender plus right back. Letizier from United. We got George's the hero card, who looks really crazy actually. And then we get into the rest of the team. Gakpo with Incisive. Julie with Finesse. Very interesting looking card. Anthony Gordon looks very good with the quick step and the 94 pace. We got Hartleson there. Hoyland looks pretty solid. Matson, Premier League left back with low physical but high pace. Pavlovic, Rios, De Rossi, new card for him. Slide tackle plus. 88 physical and 89 defending. He is Hullet gang. Would love to see the other playstyles that he's got. Militao looks cracked. Militao and Saliba in this team, by the way. Crazy. big top-tier center backs there. Barcola looks very good as well with the Rapids. Zaruri, Javi Simons, Nemensha, Endure, Dennis Mann, Kone. Kone is going to be hopefully a cheaper beast, but he looks very good. McGregor as well looks like a really solid card. Then you get down here into the lower sections. Not bad cards. Not bad cards at all, but nothing like insane. Bonnie, that's going to be a card to watch today. 86 rated, press proven plus with 94 pace and 88 dribble. That's going to be interesting. Esteval has no playstyle plus. Hollerback looks good. Igor Jesus, cheap striker from the Prem. Cedric Bakambu, haven't seen him in a long time. He's in La Liga at Betis, and he's getting a card. Kenneth Taylor, Mateus Silva, Brazilian right back card there. And then even Max Aarons is getting a card for Rangers. So it's a very large team of players. Maybe pause the video there, zoom in on a card, take a screenshot if you would like to. But this is a very large promo team. And when we've had big promo teams like this in the past, it does feel like the pack weights may be a little bit better. But it's almost kind of like, maybe you call it copium type of situation, because it's just because there's more players and you have a lot of those 84 rated, 85 rated cards at the very low end that you're packing in packs instead of just, packing a regular gold card. Instead of those, there's just more of those in packs, so you have a slightly higher chance of hitting them. So it feels better, but you're not necessarily hitting the bigger cards. But those are some pretty sizable stat boosts too. Like when we look at this team and you look at that Javi Simons boost, we kind of talked about this the last couple of days, seeing the league stats. They are giving some pretty big stat upgrades, like Nemensha's getting a big one. Barcola's getting a pretty solid one. Pavlovic, of course, very large upgrade for him. Not on the top tier as much, but on the middle tier, it does make these cards really interesting, and we'll have to see what other playstyle boosts they give them as well, because that's part of the upgrade path situation here. Now, I'm going to zoom in on this real nice as well so it's easy to see. This is the player upgrade path for all the cards. It looks like maybe there will be a couple of deviations because I don't know. Not all the competitions are exactly the same. That's a fact, right? Like the Europa League and the Conference League ones could be a bit different. Same thing with the Women's Champions League based on the format. But for the Champions League itself, there are 5 potential upgrades for these cards that all depend on the player playing in the game and the performance of that player, and then the club scoring goals and where they finish. So +1 overall if there are 7 or more points scored in the next 4 matches. These are the last 4 matches in the UEFA group stage. So 4 matches to go. If they score 7 points, they get a +1 overall. Great. If the player appears in a match that they win, they get a play style base added and a roll plus added. Cool, that seems pretty easy. Roll plus plus and another play style is given if it's an attacker or a midfielder who gets a goal or an assist in those next 4 matches. And if it's a defender, if they get a clean sheet or don't have a yellow or red card in those next 4 matches, they get that upgrade as well. Now, for the good upgrade here, this is the big one, a play style plus. Or if they already have a playstyle plus, 2 base playstyles is given if the club finishes in the top 8 of the table of the group stage point scenario, the table right there. So that's a big one. If a card does not have a playstyle plus, they get one. And if a card already has a playstyle plus, like Graham Hansen, let's say, she would get 2 more playstyles, which it gets really interesting when you look at these cards. Sure, the upgrades are going to be spread out because you're going to, achieve maybe being in the match and the team winning. That playstyle upgrade could happen right away when we have our next Champions League games. This +1 overall is going to wait a while. This +1 overall is probably going to wait a while as well. Finishing top 8, that's going to have to wait a while too, but we're having potentially cards here that are going to get an addition of 4 playstyles. So 1, 2, 3, 4 playstyles could be added and a +2 overall if your team finishes top of the table and absolutely cooks. So that's pretty crazy. And then here, not to dismiss it, the last upgrade for another +1 overall is if your club scores 1 goal in those 4 separate matches. So it's going to be a lot to try to figure out and to cover. Again, we do have Footbin over here with the tracker, and this is going to be updated, I'm sure. And there's going to be a lot of detail in here into how to track these cards, but it's going to take some remembering. Now, the good thing is, it's not like we have to think about investing in these cards soon, because the next Champions League games are not until the 25th of November. So it's a few weeks off. We just had a Champions League week this week, obviously, with games. It's going to be a couple more weeks until we see the next set of games. And then once we get into December, there's 1 week of games, then into January. Guys, we're looking at the end of January before we get to League Phase Match Day 8. So that's when we're going to see some of the biggest upgrades for these cards. it's going to be around Team of the Year, which when you take a look at the end of this and you're like, +2 overall with playstyles added, but only still one playstyle plus cards, that kind of still gives you an idea of where the power curve is going to be at by the time we get to Team of the Year. That's really interesting to kind of see. So that's kind of the upgrade path for these cards. Again, isn't super crazy important right now. Sure, these are live cards that we will be trying to pack today, but more so what I would look at these cards as right now is just a new promo team with upgrades way on down the line. I would not even think about investing in any of these cards right now unless they are discard price and you want to stock that in your club. We'll worry about that later in the weekend, even into next week as well. There's not going to be as much of a worry and maybe importance of trying to time the best investment opportunity for these road to the knockout cards, because we'll be buying road to the or prime times. I keep calling them road to the knockouts. I'm probably gonna do that a lot this week. This promo is basically road to the knockouts. They've just renamed it, but we'll have plenty of time to buy these cards for investments for their upgrades that will happen later on down the line. Now, that's the team in packs. A lot of discussion on that. What's the SBC today? That's one of the biggest mysteries that we have no idea what is coming today as an SBC. Last week we had Park Ji-sung, and then on Saturday we had the Marcus Rashford. All we have for leaks right now for a player SBC is Allison, the Sporting left wing, and that looks more like an objective card to me than an SBC. This is actually very surprising that we don't have any other SBC leaks at the moment. We'll wait and see if anything else happens today, but the next best thing that could be dropped today as an SBC would be another icon matchday player pick, the bigger one you'd say, Essien, Vidic, and Zambrata. If they were to drop that today, that'd be very interesting. 2 days in a row of icon player picks. Other than that, though, I'm not entirely sure what we would get. It'd be surprising to not have anything else leaked. So keep a close eye on Twitter for the leaks today in relation to SBCs, because at the moment, seems like we're lacking a little bit of something. They did also say, I think, that showdowns and UEFA moments cards, or kind of like recognizing a player from a certain match, if they wanted to drop an SBC like that from this week, they could, because there were games this week and there were individual performances that were very important. So if that's going to be a part of content, I hope that that would be something that we would see even from this last week of Champions League, maybe even Europa League games and Conference League games coming to content pretty soon in this promo as well. That'd be like the only thing that's in my mind of like, what could the SBC be today? Maybe it's going to be some sort of like moments or man of the match card from this week. Now, we do know one SBC that's going to be today. It is Bryan Mbeumo. He's won Premier League Player of the Month. I don't know when this is going to drop exactly, because usually it's in the early parts of the morning, but that might be during the maintenance period, and I do not know what this guy's stats are going to be. We don't have official stats leaked yet for him, as at least when I'm recording this video right now. If it's cheap, I'm going to say if it's like 150,000 coins or less, and if it looks close or at least similar to this 87 rated Scream card, please don't have Power Shot Plus, by the way. Please give something else. Rapid Plus would be fine. But if it's similar to this, people are going to end up doing it. Again, striker, right mid, right wing for Mbeumo's card. If they change positions on him, we'll keep an eye on that. And they would need to upgrade the weak foot. This 3-star weak foot's already upgraded. His base is a 2. Personally, I would love it if they kept a Game Changer Plus on him, because I used his gold card, and he was very good in game with the Game Changer. And in that first couple of weeks that I used him in my squad, his dribbling was even pretty solid too. So sure, this one with 99 dribbling is a little bit better than that, but that's the Premier League Player of the Month SBC that we kind of do know is going to be dropping today. Now, Evos. Evos is the part of content where it looks like there's going to be some movement based on a couple of the leaks that we have seen on Twitter. 2 people have been talking about a big evolution that's going to come out today. Foot Agent was the first, and then Foot Police also mentioned it as well. Now, guys, they have not tweeted what the big evolution is, but every single week, the market tells the story. Luis Openda went from 2,700 coins yesterday to 7,000 coins. Ding, 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 ding. We have a striker Evo that is incoming, and it looks like there's not a pace cap, obviously, because he's got 95 pace. You can look at the rest of the market and see other strikers are going up too. Ekitike is up a lot in price. Ayos Perez is up a lot in price as well. Like Ekitike yesterday, I believe was like, how much? Under 1,500? I mean, under 1,000. He was 900 coins. The same price as all other fodder 83s basically. And now he's 2.6K. Sell these cards in the hype. You guys know the drill. But what's interesting about Ayos Perez, Ekitike, and Luis Openda altogether is that they only have a max of 2 positions. So it doesn't look like there would be any sort of stat limit on here. 85 dribbling, that's pretty high. 86 pace, obviously it's not that. 83 shooting, 83 dribbling, and 80 passing on Ayo's Perez. So maybe there's a max positions limit to this with a max rating, or it doesn't allow you to be a winger. I don't know, but that's going to be pretty specific requirements if this is going to be a really big Evo that they're saying. So that's going to limit the number of cards in it if it can only be strikers and only strikers and cams and not strikers and right wings as well. That's one question that I do have about this. I would imagine this gets leaked before content today, so be watching out for that. And maybe check your club too for a striker or a cam that is needing an Evo that's max 83 rated. So watch out for that. I'm assuming there may be 2 Evos today if one of them would be free as well. That's kind of what we're watching out for. So a bit of an interesting day is in terms of we're not quite sure what we're going to be getting content-wise for the SBCs. The Evos are still a bit yet to be learned there. So we talk about the market, right? Like I said a little bit earlier, as I think about what content has been leaked for today, a lot of cards are coming into packs. Does that scare me? Not necessarily. I don't know if so many people are going to look at the promo team that we see there today and they're going to go, oh my goodness, I got to get these new cards in my team and I have to sell whatever I have in my current team right now on top of the prices that we've already seen drop. You know, sure, I do get it. The market has dropped a lot, and it makes me want to be very careful today too. But the other side that I keep thinking about is if people have been panic selling all week, and sure, some of these cards people actually want to try, but if people have just been selling stuff all week long, they got to buy weekend league teams, right? And I think if that's you, if you're somebody who wants to buy a weekend league team today, we got to watch very closely that content time 1 to 2 hours after that, the Friday night bubble, like right around content drop. If there's not very much good content, if there's not a lot of hype, I think you got to go out and you got to snag your team. Of course, the players like, you know, very popular players that are gold cards going out of packs, like Saliba's gold card and Lamine Yamal's gold card, those are not going to be packed at all come the content drop time today. And if you look at Saliba's card last week on Friday night, he went from 62K pre-content, went up to 66, went down right after content to 62, and then back up to 67 in the bubble. I do think that we could see a bit of a drop after the Friday content drop today for like 30 minutes, just like last week. But the bubble is probably going to happen again, and you would need to sell there. However, he's out of pack. So, you know, maybe a card like this feels a little bit more safe, or a Federico Valverde, who's one of the most meta cards in the game for a gold card. But the more that I just think about gold cards, guys, the more that I just see cards that are just losing their spice, losing their, you know, people don't want to play with gold cards anymore. There's so many promo cards. There's Scream cards that have 99 stats. And with that being the case, there's going to be people that want to buy cards today for their teams. That's why I think that the Scream cards are still interesting to watch. If there's any big content or if any big price drops today before the content drop, if there's any more big waves of panic, people are saying, I got to get my coins, I got to sell before content, I do think you could try to pick up some cards then on Screams. Or if you're like, nah, Nate, I'm not touching any Scream cards anymore, just go with out-of-pack specials because these cards are still fluctuating. They're still moving up and down in the market. Also, icons, heroes. This team, as we take a look at a lot of the players here, there's not a whole lot of defenders that look crazy. There's a few. There's a lot of really good midfielders and strikers. And if we're getting a max 83 striker Evo, if that's really good, then maybe you stay away from the strikers and you focus more on trading with the defenders. Maybe even goalkeepers as well. I know that we just had Schmeichel, but you could probably trade with goalkeepers in and around there too. There's another 83 rated card, Myra Ramirez, that is going up. So that's another card that does not have a winger position though. So that's really interesting. There must be something that limits wingers from being put into that evolution that is leaked. So that's kind of what I would say today on the market. If you want to take it a little bit more easy, you could, but I still think it's weekend league. It's Friday night. There's always a bubble on Friday nights. Literally, we're every single week, every single FUT Champs that's been released, there's been a Friday night bubble. So I will still want to trade tonight. I will still want to buy cards. I'm still trying to in the middle of even flipping a few things right now myself. I still have Dybalas. I know some of you guys are going to ask the question, like, what'd you do with your Dybalas? I have 2 of them left. I'm hoping that maybe he can rebound up a little bit before I go to sleep and I can just sell him for right around 400,000 coins because I just don't know if he's going to go up too much more. Other than that, what could happen is he goes up like 20K by the time content hits. And I'm like, well, shoot, I should have waited. And then after content and Friday night bubble, he could go up a bit more. If that happens, that happens. But part of the thing is too, when you have big price drops like this and you have cards that are, cards that you just lose a bunch of coins on, you just want to sell and you want to get out and you don't want to mess with it anymore. So that's a little bit how I'm feeling with some of these cards. And it's probably why I will just try to sell the Dybala here. Try to get like 390 or really close to 400, but it looks like he's on his way down. And again, there's 377. So might just take the hit there. And sometimes it is better to do that just to mentally reset, clear that transfer list and be like, you know what? I'm out of it. I'm learning from it, and I'm moving on to the next investment. And hopefully today does bring us the opportunity to make some coins. We'll be watching the market very closely today, hopefully making some good trades, and we'll be watching to see what other leaks come out too in terms of info, because that's really going to change what happens in terms of our market movements today on this Friday. But let's make some coins back today, man. And let's have a decent Friday. I'm saving a couple of packs. I got the whole pack set here. I just finished the Screamers tournament. So the 81 times 11 in the group reward pack here. I will be saving that one. Of course, got all the cosmetic badges and stuff like that. I'll be saving that pack, and we will be opening it today. I don't have a ton of other packs to be saved. I opened my Rivals rewards yesterday and got a little bit of fodder for Sergio Busquets. Actually, if we didn't have a player SBC today, it would be nice because I could work on Busquets. Anyways, I'm rambling at this point. I will catch you guys in the stream today on Friday. Hope you guys have a great start to your weekend. See you here on YouTube or on Twitch. We'll be watching the market, watching the Scream cards, and the prime times that drop today. It's been Nate, TheFutAccountant, guys. If you did enjoy this video, drop a thumbs up on it. Comment down below if you have any questions, and subscribe if you're new. See you in the stream today. Have a great Friday. Peace out.